Monday. Happy, amazing, motivational Monday. I'm super excited to be here with you all. I think we're going to have a really cool conversation about messaging today. I'm just looking to make sure all my little settings are right. Guys, one thing about having these on Mondays is Mondays be Mondaying. Mondays be Mondaying, and sometimes you're like, oh my goodness, I have been going all day without incidents, rocking it out, doing meetings with clients, coaching calls. And I kid you not, 30 minutes before the session, I was like, why do I feel sick? Like, what is happening to me? Why isn't things working? Technology's acting up. Like, the devil be trying it, y'all, but we gonna get through this. I got my little water here, got a trash can here. Like, we gonna be okay. Because if one thing I know for sure is I'm gonna be consistent. So we are gonna be here today. Let me pull up. We're gonna have a little bit of slides, but not a whole bunch of slides, because like I said, we're gonna get in and get out today. But I wanted to make sure that we still talked about this. So mastering your message, how to craft copy that converts and sells. I find that a lot of times us as entrepreneurs, like, we have these thoughts in our heads about what we want to do and how we want to do things, but when it comes to the execution, a lot of times the copy stops us. And so we're going to talk about copy tonight to help you guys understand how to use your copy, how to think about your messaging, but also we're going to be honest about outsourcing copy as well, because while I always tell people, like, yeah, you can do certain things by yourself, there are some things that I'm just like, if it ain't your gift, while you can, of course, get better at it, it just may make more sense and be more beneficial to outsource. And copy is kind of one of those things. So I hope to empower you guys tonight and give you some things to think about to improve your copy. But if worse comes to worse, look, if the rubber meets the road, I also want to teach you how to hire someone to do copy for you, because I was talking with a group of entrepreneurs last week, and they were like, how do you get these people that you outsource to get what you're trying to do, or to basically read your mind or buy into your brand? And we had a whole discussion around it. And I think that oftentimes, especially as a new or small business, you are not getting maybe the results you wanted to have because you're not knowing how to ask for it or knowing what pieces you need to actually get to that finish line. So hopefully when it comes to copy, we'll kind of give you guys some things to think about in that regard. And I will say, if you're watching right now, tell me hello in the chat. I'm always looking to see who's engaging with us. Stay to the end because I have a cute little announcement, and it's an opportunity for you guys to get some free coaching. But you got to stay to the end to hear about it. All right. So before we dive into the topic, for those of you who are new, hi, I am Corey Fondo Foster. I am a speaker, trainer, certified business coach, and I'm also the CEO of iRock Marketable Business Solutions. We are based here in Virginia, USA, and our goal is to help individuals just like yourself, small business owners, coaches, consultants, speakers. We want to help you really be able to find and attract your target audience. We want to help you gain clarity on what you want to offer, so your products, your services. And we also want to help you confidently implement your marketing and your sales packages, right? So we want to be that one-stop shop for you, that affordable one-stop shop for you to support you in starting, running, and scaling your small business. So I realized I've been doing these slide decks for a while. I was like, I think some of you don't know what we actually offer. And I'm like, oh, maybe I should tell you. So I'm not trying to sell you anything, but I do want to make you aware of what it is we actually do. Because I've been telling you in theory, like, we help you do all these things, but how do we help you? I think I don't talk about. So just for your knowledge, in case you need these services or maybe somebody you know needs them, we have two sides to our business. We have a coaching side where we have things like our one-on-one coaching, our group coaching, and we also have something called power hours, where maybe you just need somebody to help you solve one problem, right? You're having a big issue. You can book just 1 hour and get the support you need. On our other side of our business, we have our marketing side, which is our done for you services. Things like video editing, website design, landing pages, logos, slide decks for your presentations, workbooks, PDFs, video editing, social media management, email marketing. All those amazing things are available on our marketing side. If you ever have any questions or need any of these services, feel free to go to irockmarketablebusinesssolutions.com and check out our website, or just shoot us a message. We'd be happy to help you. We have loads of packages, but we also can customize something for you as well. So I just want to start talking about this. Hey, this is what we do, guys. Now, again, not trying to sell you nothing, but if you need it, we're here for you. And for those of you watching, I just want to remind you all that you're a rock star. I'm so excited that we launched or finally made public that we have a name for our community. Just like Taylor Swift has the Swifties and Beyonce has the Beehives, we are the rock stars. And if you're watching today, you are indeed a rock star. And I encourage you to engage with us, whether it's through our blogs, our podcast, which is called the I Rock with Business with Confidence podcast, through some of our events, our courses, our group and our group coaching, our marketing, or our one-on-one coaching. We encourage you to engage with us and become either a Rockstar Plus, an A-list star, all-star, or even an elite star. But regardless of where you are in this value ladder, we just want to thank you for being a part of the iRock family. And just know, like I said, at the end of the day, we're all rock stars. So that's all that matters. All right. So, but yep, that's in the slide deck, y'all. I was like, only got what I got in. All right, so let me bring this up real quick before we dive into the meat of it. I want to give people time to join us in the group. And again, if you're watching, tell me hello. But we do have an event coming up. We have another masterclass, and shout out to you guys who came to the last masterclass. We had an amazing masterclass with the one and only Lion Flood recently. I believe that was last week, and he taught us all about podcasting, not just how to have our own podcast, but also how to get on somebody's podcast. And he taught us how to leverage that podcast, and it was a really great informative session. And I know that even myself got some great information from it, and I know the people who attended did as well. But we have another masterclass coming up with Carly Pippin, and that will be on May the 22nd, and it's at 7 p.m., and it's about overcoming imposter syndrome. A lot of you guys, again, have these amazing products, services. You have a solution that somebody needs right now, but you are dealing with imposter syndrome. You're thinking, who's going to buy this from me? Who wants this from me? Is somebody going to believe in me? Are they going to think I'm out here, being a scammer or whatever the case may be? You're suffering from mindset blocks. And so Carly's going to come and talk to us about overcoming those mindset blocks. And I think this is a great opportunity for you all because it's almost the middle of the year, right? We're almost 6 months in. And it's time to really just pull back the curtain and say, am I making the progress that I want to make? And if I'm not making the progress I want to make, is it that my mindset is holding me back? Because oftentimes it's not our education, it's not our skill set, it's the things we tell ourselves, that negative self-talk that is hindering us from moving outside our comfort zone into our full potential. And so I'm excited to have Carly. We don't have too many of our mindset folks in these master classes, so I'm excited that she's willing to come and talk to us and help us get out of our own way. So if you're interested, these master classes are completely free. Please do register at the link below. I will, of course, put the link in the chat when we're done with our session today. And I invite you to come. If for some reason May 22nd at 7 p.m. Eastern time does not work for you, still register if you want to get the replays of the master classes. And some of you, shout out to you guys. Some people said, look, I can't show up, but they steadily register and watch the replay. So kudos to you guys. Of course, we want you there live, but if you can't, still get the information you need. So I just want to make sure I didn't forget to say that. But let's go ahead and get into the meat of why we are here today. So we're talking about mastering your message. So let's first talk about the different types of copy, right? Because your message comes out in your copy. And for those of you who are not familiar with the term copy, because I remember when I wasn't, I was like, what are they talking about? Copy paste? No. Copy is the wording in which you use in your marketing materials. Okay, so what are some of the types of different copy or wording you may need to push your messaging, your brand messaging out into the world? You have your website copy. So what are the words that you're using on your website? One thing I will tell you, look, I'm gonna give you a few tidbits while we go through these, is the one thing you can do right now to upgrade your website is get rid of the word I, right? Your website is not for you, it is for the public. So they want to know what's in it for them. So one thing, a quick tip you can do for your website is get rid of that word I. But that is one type of copy. You also have your social media copy. So that's the things you put in your captions, the wording you put on your graphics, your call to actions, your hashtags. That's your social media. So that's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest, TikTok, and so forth. that messaging is still very important to the success of you being able to convert prospective clients into clients and also retaining the current clients you have. People need to see value. They need to feel seen. They need to be heard. They need to be called out and say, hey, I'm talking to you. And so don't think just because it's social media and you only have so many characters that these words aren't as important as they really are, because they are. They're vastly important, because every time someone sees your brand, they should see consistency and they should understand that this information was made for them. You also have your email copy, which is something a lot of us struggle with because we know we want to email people, right? We worked hard building up an email list and then we don't know what to email them. So email copy also is important. And people always tell me like, how often should I be emailing? Well, it depends. It depends. I would say at least once a week, but make sure it's value. You don't want to be constantly selling in your email marketing. You don't want to always just be reaching out because you want something from your audience. Most of your emails should truly be of value. And you have to know your audience. Do they like a lot of wording? Do they like it short? Do they like pictures to break it up? Do they like videos along with the wording? What are people clicking on? You have to even look at, are people clicking your links? Maybe the wording for the buttons that you're putting in these branded emails are not encouraging people to actually take action. So email copy is really important, and looking and reviewing your analytics for your email copy is going to be important too. Even before your email, even before you look at the analytics for the email itself, so that people, are people clicking on whatever your call to actions are. One of the most important things is your open rate, because it tells people, is your subject line even good? Right? That's copy you need to pay attention to. Your subject line, those couple of words that get people to click on it and even give you a chance when they see your email come up in their inbox. So we got email copy. You have advertising copy. These are things like your Instagram ads, your YouTube ads, your Facebook ads. That copy is so important, your Google ads, because you're trying to convince people to take a chance on you. Oftentimes, these ads are put in front of people who have never even heard of you. So it's so important that that messaging be crisp, clear, and direct. Oftentimes, the reason why that copy falls short is because it's just for whomever. If you happen to come across it and it's not niche down enough to call out your audience. If a person can't see your ad copy and say, oh, that's me, they're talking to me, or they just going through and they're like, oh, okay, that seems cool, that's cute, you've lost them. I always tell you, when you do marketing, you want people to say me too and not so what. That is very important in advertising because you're paying per click, right? Per click. And you don't want to be wasting your time creating this freebie, this lead magnet, only, or this, maybe you're talking about an event only for people to pass it by because it's not speaking to them. Landing page copy kind of goes hand in hand with website copy. But the thing about landing page copy is it's really created to funnel people to take one action. So maybe you have a book coming out, and so you have a book landing page, or maybe you have an event coming up, you have an event landing page. All the copy on that page is directed to one thing, one goal, to get people to buy a ticket, buy the book, right? Come to the show, whatever it is. And so that copy has to be so on point to say, I get you, I see you, I know what you need, I have the solution for that. These are the other people who've also had the same issue you've had, and these are the solutions they've gotten. This is what it's going to include. This is how I'm going to help you. Sign up now. These are the bonuses. Like, it has to be hit, 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 so that as people are reading it, they are going to be like, yes, this thing is for me, and then they will go on to the next phase. You also have print copy, which I don't deal with a lot with clients, but that's like your print materials. Maybe you're printing flyers. Maybe you're making printed workbooks for an event, postcards. People still send out postcards, pamphlets, brochures. Maybe you're at vending events, different things. Yeah, having that printed material. You also need copy for that. They're like, Lordy, I'm tired of writing. Yes, copy for that. And then you also have scripts. So maybe you are like, well, I'm not writing a whole bunch of things. I do video content. Well, guess what? The words you're saying, they need to be pre-planned, and that is video script copy. Are you overwhelmed? Don't be. Don't be. So gave you a few little tidbits when we went through those, but let me give you a few more things to keep in mind as you go through the process of understanding and crafting your messaging and understanding how to write your copy. Something else you need to think about is identifying your unique value proposition. And we've talked about this idea before in previous talks, but we have to be honest. There are people out there that do what you do. They may not do it the way you do it, because right, that's what makes you special. But you have to convince or at least inform the public of what that difference is. So maybe you help people lose 100 pounds, right? That's your thing. I can make you lose 100 pounds in 100 days. Wow, that's amazing, right? But maybe five other people say they can do the same thing. Why should I come to you versus them? Because price isn't always the big thing. Price is nice. Like, okay, they're lower, but sometimes when you make yourself too low, then it makes people think like, is this really worth it? Is this a real thing? Is it too good to be true? So price isn't always going to be your unique selling point. Sometimes it's your method, right? A lot of you are coaches and consultants, and you have your own frameworks, right? Your own way of getting people from point A to point B. Tell people that, right? And this proven system that I've cultivated over the last 20 years because of my experiences in X, Y, and Z, I have this method that will help you. Have you had issues and failed trying to do this in the past on your own? This is why it'll work. I have a community to support you. I have accountability measures. I have templates. I have guides. I have a video course that would have you go through it. I have, milkshakes and all the things. Like, tell them what is unique about your product or service and why yours is so much better than anybody else out there. Do it with class. But you have to almost brag about yourself and say, I got the best thing in town and this is why. So that you can be set apart from everyone else. You also have to write copy again that speaks to your ideal client. Sometimes that takes a bit of research. I had 2 calls today where I asked clients of mine, what problem do you solve? And you'd be surprised how hard it was for them to articulate the problem that they solve. And nothing against them, because I'm telling you, it happens all the time to people. You get so wrapped up in business and you know that there's a problem out there. That's why you started your business. But when people ask you to articulate the problem you solve, you go, well, I do this and I do that and this and this. But what is their problem? Why are people coming to you? Right? What do they need? I always say they're going from point A to point B. What's the point B they're trying to get to, and why haven't they been successful getting there on their own? Why haven't they been successful getting there with other coaches and in other programs? What is the issue? What is their main points, their struggle, their desires, their angst? Like, what is it? Because that is why they want to do business with you. They're not doing business with you because, just like we'll go back to the weight loss. You say, okay, well, you'll work with me and we are going to do 100 push-ups a day, 100 sit-ups a day. We're going to drink a gallon of water. Like, they don't want to hear all that. They want to lose 100 pounds. That is the problem you're solving. You're going to get them to their weight loss goal. Simple enough. Sometimes people get so caught up as entrepreneurs because they're like, oh, I just want to tell them all these amazing things I put in this product or service. That's cool and all, and there's a time and place. But more importantly, people truly want to know, what is the result they're going to get? What is in it for me, right? As the consumer, not what all you like. Sometimes I don't care how you get me there, whatever. Can you get me there? Cool. Let's do it. Right? Can you get me there? Can I afford to get there doing what you want me to do? How much time is it going to take of mine? Again, what do I got to do is what I care about, not what you're going to do. Because that's cool. You're going to sit with me once a week. That's nice. But what am I going to be having to do? Oh, you're not going to have to count calories. Great. Didn't want to. Did that before and it didn't work. So just keep that in mind. What is in it for your audience? What sets you apart? And then making sure you're writing to that specific group. And then you want to make sure that everything you're writing has conversion in mind. Some of you have great content. I've seen your social media. And the stuff's like, oh, cool. And that's why we like your posts. You made me share your post. But I noticed that at the end, you don't tell us to do anything. You got to tell us. You got to make sure that you are writing copy to convert. Click here, buy now, sign up, register, book a call, have a chat, whatever the case may be. Every piece of content you put out there should have a call to action. Even if it's like comment below, put a 1 in the chat. Have them do something. Take action now to show they're engaged and they want more, right? So make sure you're doing that with all your copy. So now that we know the different types of copies, you got a few things to think about when you write it. Let's give you some additional strategies. So we talked about understanding your target audience. That goes back to creating that client avatar, or that, however many personas you have in your business, to know who you're talking to. That's step one. We're going to focus on benefits over just what's included. So benefits, results. That's what we're focused on. What is in it for them? You're going to make sure that you utilize headlines. People have very short attention spans, and oftentimes you guys hide the lead in the text, and people may not have ever gotten to that part. Like if you put something in the third paragraph down in a Facebook post, I probably never saw it. So make sure that your headline attracts your audience. Matter of fact, a great example of this is if you're in our private Facebook community, you can go to the events section of the group. If you go into the group, back in the day, because we tried different things, when we started these Monday Night Lives, we focused on topics. What I wanted to teach was what we focused on. And then there was a big shift. We were like, okay, we want more engagement. We want this, that, and the other. We had some goals set. And we changed the topics to being more results driven. We didn't want just a topic. So just for instance, tonight, what was the topic? Let me go back up. Mastering your message, because that's what you guys want to do. How to craft copy that converts and sells. I could have said something like, hey, learn about copy. Learn to write copy. But no, mastering your message, because that's what you guys want to do. You want to figure out how to get your messaging out. You want to understand how to get not just copy, but copy that converts so you can sell more. That's why we change it like that. So be very benefits driven, results driven, because that's what your audience wants to hear. And if you can, incorporate social proof. Now, some of you are new and you're like, well, I don't have testimonials. It's okay. I actually don't use a lot of testimonials. And if you're my client, I will keep asking for testimonials. And they're like, girl, I got you. Of course, you're amazing. And they just steadily forget. I understand you're busy. So I don't use tons of testimonials, but I talk about their stories. I also do post when I can, but also I show. So like if you're in the private community, there's a section in the guide section that's called Hot Seat Coaching. And one of the reasons why we put that there is because we wanted people to actually see, because a lot of people are out here saying that they coach folk or they do consulting, but they're not doing it. And so we wanted you guys to see the behind the scenes of what it actually looks like to work with me with real people. So if you go in the guide section and you look in the group and you see the Hot Seat Coaching, you can probably put that person's name in the search, and they're probably still members in the group. You can ask them, hey, how was it to work with Corey? I saw your session. It looked like this. What were your thoughts? And then in our group, there are plenty of my actual clients. I swear I got clients, y'all. But so just show social proof the best way you can. If you're a coach, maybe you're a relationship coach, you're just getting started, find some people that wouldn't mind doing it for free in exchange for a testimonial. Do like a quick coaching session with them, help them get a breakthrough and move on. Also, you can talk about your own experience. So again, maybe you did the 100 pounds in 100 days. I'm not saying that's healthy, y'all, but that's just the example that came to my mind. But if that worked for you, talk about your story. Talk about your story and tell them how you did it. Show before and after pictures. That's social proof as well. So don't be afraid to do that. Also, third-party evidence. I love being featured. Podcasts, speaking engagements. If people see that you are booked and busy, they're more likely to believe that what you're talking about is legit. You're not just out here trying to sell them, snake oil. You don't want to be that person. Again, make sure you're doing your call to actions as well. If you don't tell them what to do next, they're not going to know where to go. So those are just some quick strategies. And I promised you guys I was going to talk a little bit about outsourcing, because I realized I have to. Because while all the things I said are well and good, I know for a fact at the end of the day, some of you are going to say, I am just not a writer, or I don't have time for that. That is not my zone of genius. Can't do it, won't do it. I got you. So we're going to talk a little bit about outsourcing. Let's talk real quick about some of the pros of, just so in case you're wondering if you want to outsource. You have access to an expert, somebody who actually knows how to write copy that converts. You're getting back some of your time, which is great, because if it takes you an hour to write an email, that's an hour you could have been spent doing a call, making a new product, versus writing an email that may or may not convert to a sale. They also offer a fresh perspective. Again, when I have calls with clients, oftentimes I ask them questions that make them think like, oh, why do I do that? Or, ooh, I can make this better. Or what if I changed it up this way? So it gives you somebody else to kind of get ideas from, get different things that you could possibly implement into your business. It helps you be more scalable. Anytime you can outsource things is great because, again, it takes something off your plate where you can do more things. And a lot of times, if it's their zone of genius, they're going to be faster and better at it anyway, which is going to help your business grow. And it just makes you more efficient and productive overall. Now, there are a few cons because I'm just going to be honest. I like to be very, very upfront and transparent. Things like costs make it hard. Some of you are a little bit of a control freak. I'm gonna call it the way I see it, and so you have less control because typically, if you get a really good relationship with somebody that's a freelancer, oftentimes once you guys get good and working, you may not even be approving the content. It may just be going out because they knew their job. You're happy with their work, and so you definitely have less control because they're just doing it all, right? Sometimes it can make you a little dependent. One thing that I encourage everybody to do is know how to do everything that's in your business, at least the basics. So if somebody is gone, you're able to do it, right? So like my assistant does a lot of stuff for me, but I know how to do everything that she does. I have freelancers for my whole marketing side of my business, websites, landing pages, video edit, all the things. I can do everything they can do. Not as good and not as fast, but I can. So when one of my freelancers was out because she had a baby, I could do it. Had a death in the family, I could do it. Had a religious holiday, I could do it. We try out new freelancers. If it doesn't work, I can step in and do it so that we're not losing money. We're not losing momentum that we've built in the business because my name is on the line. So just make sure that you're not getting dependent upon your freelancers and you don't know how to do it because it happens. I'll come in, they'll say, can you do a website? Can you edit a website? And I'll say, what platform are you on? I don't know. They just did it. Okay, well, where are these graphics at? I don't know. They just did it. And I'm like, how do I can't help you if I don't have the materials. Where'd you purchase your domain? I don't know. And that's one reason why we have our customers purchase their own domain, have their own hosting, so that when we leave, they own everything. Now, if they want to come back, great, but we don't ever want them to be dependent upon us. Sometimes we even have products that are editable. We'll make them in Canva for them, like our slide decks, because sometimes you guys change your mind, and we don't want you to have to come back and pay for us to add the word "the" in something or change the name of a program. So we don't want you dependent. Some other things is just making sure a lot of you may struggle with trusting your freelancers, your people you outsource to, because it's hard. Like people get burned out here. People steal clients, they jack up stuff, you lose things, and that sucks, right? They lie to you. So outsourcing, no matter how much research you do, things can happen. Things can happen. These people are not your friends. You don't know them. That's why it's important to do your research, do your homework, get referrals. But it is still a gamble to see if it's going to work out. No one can absolutely guarantee you're going to have the best experience ever and everything's going to be cupcakes and rainbows. So those are just some real things to think about. But what I will tell you when it comes to outsourcing, because I built my business on freelancers, is do your research, but also be realistic and transparent. When I started offering marketing services that I was not going to do myself, I told them what I wanted. I asked them to give me feedback for how I could help ensure their success. I started at a lower pay scale with them and said, hey, we're going to try this out. And if it works out, we're going to do more work together because I wanted them to be incentivized to give me their best work. I also was honest and say, hey, this is not a part-time or a full-time position. This is, work here and there. So I get that you're going to be working for other people. I didn't try to say, I don't want you working with my competitors. Absolutely not. I also made a point to make sure that my stuff for my clients was safe until I felt very comfortable giving them access to things. And I paid attention to make sure that my clients' information was safe. So let's say do your due diligence, but also just be mindful And the more research you understand, the better. Some things, especially when it comes to copy, you need to understand is, and this, I'll be honest, because people think they can hire a VA, and they're like, well, the VA should be able to make a landing page, edit my website, edit my podcast, send out emails, make my social media work. That's not really how it works. Most VAs specialize in, a couple of things. Some VAs only do data entry. Some VAs only work in real estate. So you have to know what you want and realize that not all VAs do everything. And if they do a lot of things, sometimes they don't do them super great. So when it comes to copy, you need to ensure that they do the type of copy you want, right? Some copy, people who do copy do long form. So they're doing like their websites, books, all kind of things like that. And some do short form where they're doing like social media, flyers, small, quick projects. Some will, and they should tell you like, this is what I like to do. This is what I do. And just make sure that they do what you like. Ask for examples of their work. Ask for reviews or testimonials. I'm all for the do a test sometimes, especially if I'm hiring them for something where they should be able to think on their feet. We had a content writer come on with us for a while. We actually had 2 or 3 of them at this point. But I'm like, okay, I'm going to give you a client's name. I'm going to give you the client's bio, target audience, product, like pain points. I'm going to give you the basic information, like their profile. And then I want you to make 5 social media posts for them that are in their wheelhouse with these things in mind. And if they struggle and they can't get it, then I know they're probably not for me. Now, I have to be a little bit more picky because we write for different clients, but even for yourself, say, okay, hey, I would like to do just a quick drill test. Do it on a call. This is my name, my title. This is, the product or service. And they're not going to write you a whole website copy. But, hey, could you tell me, maybe give me, like, if it's a website, do the About Me section. Or give me, 3 bullets to put on my website. Like, what would you say? How would you say it? Give me some advice, because you want to make sure this person fits the project that you're hiring them for, right? Because you can't go in and say, I just want somebody to do copy for me. End. Like, no, what kind of copy, what type of project? If they're doing ad copy, I'm going to need to see the analytics of some of the past ads they've done, because I want to see the click rate. I want to see how much engagement they have. I want to see if I can see what converted. I'd be excited too. So all of that is important to see, and they should be willing to give it to you. And if they're new, they should be honest and just tell you, hey, I'm new. I work with a lot of new grads, and it's totally fine. Like, hey, I'm new, but I'm highly motivated. And you say, okay, I'll put you on a 30-day trial. Let's see, and we're gonna do it at a lower rate. If it works out, I'm gonna do this. Cool, right? But just be honest, be upfront, and be diligent in researching and knowing exactly what you want. Fair enough? All right, so I think I gave you a lot today. Look, we did good, 30 minutes, and I ain't have all my slides. I did that thing. Look, didn't even get sick. Hey. All right, so if you hung out with us to the end, whether you're watching live or whether you're watching the replay, I want to let you know we've been having a battle backstage, kind of with talking about the hot seat coaching. If you're an oldie but goodie, then we used to do hot seat coaching. I mentioned it earlier in the talk, and we've been trying to decide whether we're going to bring it back or not. But last week, I was invited by some past clients to speak to a group of small business entrepreneurs, and they asked me to do hot seats live. Like they were ready. It was really interesting. It was cool, and I said, you know what I want to do? Monday nights at 6, we always do our Monday night training. I want to do, I think it'll be once a week, hot seats, but I want them live. Like I want to be able to hop on a live. I want to be able to invite you to it, and I want them to be live. I don't want to have to record them. I don't want to have to set up Zooms. I just want us to pop up and do it. And I think that will probably be more beneficial anyway. And maybe I'll do more than one in a session, and we kind of discuss it. But yeah, I thought it was really great because people came with their questions and they were ready to go. And so if you are interested in trying this out, these are live. I'm going to be clear. These are live hot seats. So they're going to be live in our Facebook group community, by the way. So you got to be a member of the Facebook community. It's free. It's on Facebook. There's no catch, because that's where we do those kind of broadcasts. then just say me in the chat, and we're going to DM you and get you on the roster to do a live hot seat, and you can ask anything you want. And we're going to give you coaching. We're going to do it for 30 minutes per person. So you can tell I ask a lot. And I mean, when I went to help the other people in that group, it was so cool because I actually got to pull up, they were asking about AI. I pulled up ChatGPT and actually did offer copy for them for one of the people there, like in real time. And they were like, just blew their mind. And so we can do things like that. We can talk through your offer. You can share your screen if you want. You can do whatever, and we can get something actually done in real time. So if you're interested, like I said, put me in the chat. You can put it on any of the platforms. Either way, if you're not in the community, I'll just say, you got to join the community. But you can still tell me if you're on LinkedIn, you're on our public Facebook page, YouTube, what have you. Just say me, and between now and next Monday, we will go ahead and get you scheduled for a live hot seat. So that is the new thing. And again, guys, before we hop off today, because I'm always gonna give you a call to action. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and register for our next iRock Masterclass on May the 22nd at 7 p.m. I will see you there. And with that being said, guys, you all have a great night. Remember, I rock, you rock, we all rock, and I will talk to you next time.